was in Atlanta, right? And I was in a black strip club. And when you walk into a black strip club, it's a new experience if you've never been there before. And for the men who have been there, first of all, you got to understand the fascination with African American women or black women. I love black women. Now, when there's a point where I didn't have no girlfriend, wasn't nothing going on, I'd find my way into the club, right? Feeding my mind now with spiritual degradation. And that's from Satan, not from God. So spiritual degradation is a breaking down of your spiritualness while you try to appease your flesh. The problem is that when you come out of these atmospheres, your mind ain't right. And you begin to think of a relationship as a different form other than love. So the problem with watching pornography or videos is that it gives you a false sense of what a relationship should be like, what love should be. And it builds your mind to a macho image to say, I'm not really doing it right unless I'm doing it like them. And so you try to recreate what you see in your life, disrespecting the ones you love. Now, as a single man, you say, well, what else am I to do? God says to remain faithful. God says to wait until you get married. Because if you don't wait, the problem is that you'll bring everything you've done in the past into your marital relationship. That means that you're going to expect her to drop it like it's hot. You're going to expect her to do things that she ain't never thought of doing before in her life. And then you're going to compare her to who you've had before. Well, so-and-so did it like this. And you don't seem to, and what happens is you draw a disconnect because remember, when you gave up yourself, you lost a part of your spiritualness. You lost a part of your humanness to this person that you encountered that had no love for you. All you was doing was fulfilling your fleshly desires, your needs. It's cool. You know those relationships where you just get together when it's time to, and then you leave them? And there are women who go for that, but it affects you because the time comes that when you finally get married, and this is where I deal with the married men. You remember all these things, and now that your life is so complicated and you have no longer relations, it's times when you can go 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. People say, what? Oh, yeah. Relationships go longer than that without engaging in sexual activity because they have no time for one another. And what happens is when you don't have time for one another, you begin to start seeking other means of self-gratification. And they ain't always the right way. And so you start to justify when you start talking to this woman and telling her that you're not receiving any loving at home. And the woman that you're talking to then feed into this because, oh, okay, well, I would never treat you like that. I don't understand how in the world you could still live in that situation. All you got to do is come see me. I'll take care of you, baby. And they began to stroke the male ego. And now they're giving you their undivided attention, which you can no longer get from your wife. Now, you want it from your wife, but the problem is that if you can't get it, I'm tired of begging for it. And if I'm tired of begging for it, then it must be a time for me to be able to step out. I would go to the pornography on the internet, self-gratification, because at least, well, I ain't cheating on her, but yes, you still are. Because you are stealing what belongs to her. Even though she's not giving it right now, it does not give you a right or the access to get rid of it. That sexual frustration, that sexual tension still needs to be addressed with your spouse, but the problem is because you are no longer talking now. Somebody else is meeting that need and they're doing it rather well. Here's the problem why they're meeting your needs so well. They don't have the same issues your wife has. They don't have no kids. They ain't got nobody else to take care of. They ain't got nothing going on. So they can give you their undivided attention until you leave your wife and marry her, and now she ain't giving you none. Because now she got the same issues your wife had. Listen to this. Most importantly, this is this guy Jim Smith wrote this. So when a man entertains himself by watching other people commit acts of public fornication, he is stealing their human dignity. Even though the performers may be consenting to their behavior, it is still a theft. God created sexuality for a husband and his wife. Within the marriage, it is holy.